So ladies, let me ask you something. When was the last time you put your health first? Not for your family, not for your job, not for your to-do list, but just for you. After 40, our bodies start to send signals that we just cannot afford to ignore. These 5 tests can literally save your life, and yet so many of us delay them or don't even know they're necessary. Today I'm going to walk you through these tests that every woman over 40 should have, and knowing this could be the most empowering thing you do this year. Welcome to my channel, where I empower women over 40 to take charge of their health, their hormones, and their happiness. So now let's get into it. The first test that I want to talk to you about is the mammogram. I know you've all heard of the mammogram, but let me tell you what this test screens for. It screens for breast cancer, of course, and after the age of 40, believe it or not, the risk of breast cancer increases, which is why our doctors recommend getting this mammogram every 1 to 2 years. As I stated before, it is for breast cancer. It's a very low dose x-ray. It looks for lumps or changes in the breast tissue that might not be felt during the monthly physical exam. And I hope you're doing those monthly physical exams. If you're not familiar with how to do the monthly physical exams, I'll drop a link below in the show notes to help you learn how to examine your breasts every single month to get ahead of any issues, if there are any. Why is it important after 40? Breast cancer, if it's caught early, has a 90% survival rate, and it often shows no symptoms. So this test can really save your life. If the results are positive, please don't panic. Positive doesn't always mean cancer. It just may show an abnormal area that needs a little more testing, like an ultrasound or a biopsy. I've had many breast ultrasounds for a questionable mammogram result, and I've even had an MRI for a positive questionable ultrasound result, yet no breast cancer. So it's very important to stay very calm, ask questions, and follow up right away if you have a questionable mammogram result. Next on the list is the pap smear and HPV test, which is usually done together. This combo test screens for cervical cancer and high-risk strains of the human papillomavirus. That's why it's called HPV. What is it for? The pap test looks for abnormal cells on the cervix, and the HPV test detects a virus that can cause those cells to turn cancerous. Why is it important after 40? Even if you've had normal results in the past, cervical cancer can still develop later in life. Plus, our immune system changes with age, and it may not clear that human papillomavirus as easy. If the results are positive, we may need to repeat the test, doing a colposcopy, which examines the cervix closely, or even a biopsy. But early detection allows for treatment before anything becomes cancerous. Test number 3 is the colonoscopy. This test checks for colorectal cancer by examining your colon and your rectum using a very tiny camera. And why it matters after 45? Because colorectal cancer is the 3rd leading cause of cancer death in women, and it usually grows very slow and silent, which makes early detection very critical. And this test looks for polyps, which are small growths that can turn cancerous over time. If the results are positive, if the polyps are found, they can often be removed during the procedure. If cancer is detected, your doctor will discuss treatment options with you. The good news, when found early, colorectal cancer is highly treatable. I've had many colonoscopies, and in my opinion, the actual test itself is a breeze. Prior to the colonoscopy, you'll have to take a laxative because the colon has to be clean. That part is a little harder than the test. And if I can give you a quick tip, just try to eat like a few days before the colonoscopy. Just eat very light, because everything you eat has to come out before the colonoscopy. I'm just saying. Next, we have the DEXA scan, or bone density test. This one is a game changer for women over 40, especially as estrogen levels drop during menopause. What's it for? It measures how dense and strong our bones are, and it helps to detect osteopenia, which is bone loss, or osteoporosis. Why is it important after 40? Postmenopausal women lose bone mass more quickly, and osteoporosis can lead to fractures, back pain, and even problems with mobility. If the results are positive, maybe the doctor may have you take calcium or vitamin D supplements, do some weight-bearing exercises, or even medication to prevent further bone loss. It's also a cue to reevaluate your nutrition as well as your lifestyle. Last, but definitely not least, the thyroid function test. This test checks your level of TSH, T3, T4, which regulate our metabolism, energy, and mood. And why is it important after 40? Because as we know, after 40, during menopause, we can develop hypothyroidism, which causes weight gain, fatigue, brain fog, and more. It's often mistaken for just aging. Well, this test will tell you whether your thyroid gland, which is located here under your neck, is underactive or overactive. If the results are positive, your doctor might prescribe a thyroid medication or recommend some lifestyle adjustments. Managing your thyroid health can dramatically improve your energy, your weight, and your mental clarity. So there you have it. 5 medical tests every woman over 40 should take very seriously. These aren't just about preventing disease, they're about preserving your energy, your confidence, and your quality of life. So click on the link below in the show notes to download a copy of a checklist that I made for you. You can take it to your next doctor's appointment to speak with your doctor about ordering these tests, or if you've had them already, the results of each of the tests, so that you can understand what each test are for and what your results are. So here's your action step. If you haven't had one or more of these tests recently, schedule a checkup. Your future self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a woman that you love. Let's normalize prioritizing our health, not just surviving midlife, but thriving in it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay radiant, stay clean, and stay empowered.